So hello guys, welcome to my channel again. It's Kolo. So in today's tutorial we will try to configure a VLAN network. So we have two VLAN ID, the VLAN 10 and the VLAN 20. So these two PC belong to VLAN 10 and this one belong to VLAN 20. Right now we have not configured yet our VLAN network, so we will just try to do something before we configure, so that you will understand what exactly VLAN does. So the only thing I have done is just assigning the IP addresses. So I just assigned these IP addresses and their default subnet mask. So let's try to do something. Let's try pinging. As you can see, these two PC I have named them belong to VLAN 10 and this one belong to VLAN 20. As we know that this PC should able to pin themselves and each other, but not this PC once we configure the VLAN network within our switch. But right now, since we have not configured our switch, all these PC should be able to communicate, because there is no restriction, there is no that separation or that segmentation within the switch, so they must or they should be communicating. So let's try pinging them. Just to simple, let's try pinging them and see. So let's try to ping. So let's try pinging this PC here with, let me check the, yeah, let's try pinging this one, which is 192.168.1.2. So destination is unreachable. Okay, so the destination is unreachable. Okay, this is a normal problem, usually happen. So if you try to ping maybe the PC, so there is some delay, but it usually happen, is an obvious issue. So let me just close this and try to ping another PC to see if we have the same issue. So let's try pinging this one, but it is usually a normal issue, but it will definitely at the end of the day it will still ping. So let's try to ping this, but right now all of them should be able to ping each other. So 192.168.1.1. So as you can see, this one is pinging, this one is able to ping this PC1. Let's try to ping the PC2 also, the PC3 I mean. Let's try to ping this PC also, this PC here, which is 1.3. Right now we have named it VLAN 20, but we have not yet configured our switch. So our switch is treating all the PC as if they belong to the same subnet, and also they share the same common network. There is no that segmentation of division, so it treat them, or it pass traffic on each PC without discrimination. So let's try to ping this one and see. So we are pinging this from PC2, and also you can see we are getting reply. So it should be working right now. It should be working the same. If we do the same for PC3, should also able to pin PC1, which is 192.168.1.1. So you can see also is pinging. So right now all of them can able to pin each other. I have also checked this one and I realized that also is able to pinging. So if we try to ping this PC, we have tried to ping here, right now is pinging. So also this one is pinging. It is just because there's some delay, mostly happen at the first time, but it's a normal issue. So right now each of them is able to ping. So the next thing now we want to configure our VLAN. Now here comes the story. Now I want you to understand that before this PC they were able to pin each other, but once we configure the VLAN network, these PCs will be divided into sections which we call the VLAN ID 10 and 20, meaning these two, only the PC1 and PC2 will be able to communicate, but PC1 cannot able to communicate with PC3. This because there is a restriction, and this restriction, the thing that is causing this restriction is this VLAN network. So let's go ahead and configure our first. So we'll go ahead and within our switch we check this interface, which is Ethernet 001. So let's come within our switch and let's so let's come within system. Then within our system, let's try to name our switch. So we'll name our switch, so system name, and we'll name our switch as switch 1. Now we are good to go. The next thing, we'll check this interface. We want to configure this interface for this VLAN 10. So we'll specify the interface. So interface Ethernet, we have seats 001. So we'll go with 0/0/1. And within this interface we can see the link type. It should be access. So we'll specify the port link type, which should be access, so that way. And also we'll assign a default VLAN ID, which is ID 10 for this interface here. This PC will send traffic via this interface, and it is within the VLAN ID 10. So let's go ahead and assign port default VLAN should be VLAN 10, and we are good to go. The VLAN does not exist, so it's within this Ethernet. So Ethernet 001, switch this, the VLAN does not exist, so it's not existing, so the VLAN does not exist. So I think we have a problem, but let's try sort out. So here you can check we haven't specified this VLAN is not recognized by our switch. This is because we haven't specified the VLAN batch. We were supposed to specify the VLAN batch, which is now how we want to segment our network. So we want to segment our network as VLAN 10 and 20. So we need to specify this before starting configuring. So we just messed a little bit, but we will solve it. So let's come back here and just let's quit everything. So first of all, we'll need to specify the batch, the VLAN batch here. So I'll come here and specify VLAN batch, and VLAN batch, it will be 10 and 20. This was the first thing we are supposed to do. We are telling the switch that we want to segment or divide our network with that will have two that will have two VLAN ID, which is 10 and 20. So you hit enter. Once you're done with that, now we'll now try to configure our interface. So let's back here, and so let's get back. So let's back here and try to configure our interface. So we'll specify the interface. We have already specified it here. So interface, go to that interface, then we specify now the port link type, which is access. So once you're done with that, also we go ahead and specify the default value. Now it should recognize because we have already specified our batch, our VLAN batch. So let's go back and now specify our port default VLAN, and if now you hit enter, it's now being recognized. So let's clear screen. And now let's quit. Now let's go to this interface here, which is 002. So let's get that interface 002. Now as usual, specify the link type, which is access. So we'll specify the port link type, which is access. And once we are done with that, as you can see also, this PC here belong to the same VLAN ID, which is VLAN 10. So we'll specify the default port default VLAN 10 also, and we are good to go. Now let's come here and configure the last one. So this belong to VLAN ID 20. So let's configure that. So we'll quit and specify this interface here, which is Ethernet 3. So specify that interface, which is now 3. Then we'll specify the port link type, which is access. And now here we will set our VLAN ID 20. So port default value should be 20. For this now it will be 20. Then we are good to go. Now let's try now to ping our PC and see if now we have enabled the VLAN network within this network. So what we should have in mind is that now PC1 can able to pin PC2 but should not pin PC3. The same as PC3 should not able to pin any of these PC. So let's try to figure out now. Let's come back to PC1 and try now to pin the PC2. It should pin PC2 but not PC3. So let's back here and try to pin our PC2, which have already pinged before. Let's now try ping that. As normal, this is a normal error, so don't bother about it. It usually happens, but at a time it will pick it. So it's a normal behavior. Sometimes these devices fail to to pin. So if you see what I was saying, that it sometimes ping, it might fail to ping before, but as you keep on trying to ping, it will now sort the error and it's now pinging. So you can see it's now able to ping PC1. Now is pinging PC2. Now let's try to ping now PC3, which is belong to the dot 3, and you see that host destination is unreachable, and this, no matter how many attempts you will try, it will never ping it. This is because we are trying to ping a PC that belong to a VLAN 20. There is already a restriction. This our switch has already segment our PCs that only PC1 and PC2 should able to see each other traffic, and should be, and they should only able to communicate, but not this PC that belong to the VLAN ID 20. Now let's repeat again. So for confirmation, it should not. It is, if yours is ping, then just know that you haven't enabled this VLAN network. Let's try to ping PC3 and let's try to ping any of the PC. Let's ping PC1. It should be unreachable as usual. Let's also try to ping PC2. It should be unreachable as well. Unreachable. Now let's try to ping our PC2. Let's try to ping PC1 and see if it will ping. So let's try to pin our PC1 from PC2 and it should be pinging. This is because they both belong to the same VLAN network. So these two should be able to pin each other but not outside this area. So this guys how you can configure VLAN. This is how you can segment your network within the same switch. So you might have a subnet that you want to configure or to give some restriction. I'm assuming that maybe you have a system that has two departments. Let's assume a department of IT and another department of finance. They both belong to the same subnet, and also they share a common switch. So you can configure in a way that only the traffic that should be shared within this switch, only those who belong to that department, assuming that those who belong in department of finance, they should not be able to see any traffic from department of IT. This is because we have configured the VLAN within the system. So this is how VLAN work, and this is our simple introduction on how to configure VLAN. So as we proceed, we'll be configuring different VLAN using multiple switches. Also, we'll go ahead and try to configure an inter-VLAN. Now we'll try to configure to make sure that this PC that belong to this VLAN should now able to communicate with this VLAN here. This will be done by help of having a router. Router will enable this. Any PC or any network belong to a certain VLAN should be able to communicate with a different VLAN by using a switch. But right now we are focusing on how to configure with VLAN within our switches. So in the next video we'll create another VLAN but using a multiple switch. So thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate. Keep keep watching my videos. Remember to subscribe, give me that like, comment, and see you in the next video. It's goodbye.